Oh, ooh. Jordan, can you confirm that you can hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Awesome. There you go, your worship.
Good evening, everyone. Hello, everyone in the gallery. Welcome. Thank you for attending our regular meeting of June 1st, 2021. Mayor Irvin is unable to be here tonight, so as the deputy, I'll be filling in for him. So we have one item to add to the agenda today. We will be adding community service grants for nonprofits as number 10 under new and unfinished. Can we have a motion to adopt the agenda as amended?
Make that motion to adopt the agenda as amended.
I'll second.
Thanks. All in favor? So can we please have a motion to adopt the draft minutes from the May 18th, 2021 regular meeting?
I'll make a motion to adopt the draft minutes.
Thank you, Erin.
I'll second those minutes.
And yes. All in favor?
Did, according to the minutes, did we ever find out which property that was on Ravenhill? You know the tree I'm speaking of?
No, unfortunately, I never made it. Never did see it. I was down Ravenhill and never noticed.
812 Ravenhill.
812?
Or no, 912, sorry.
912? Okay. You.
Okay. So next, accounts payable. Can we please have a motion to pay the open payables in the amount of $537,649.12?
Make that motion to pay the open payables.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, NSC Minerals, that's or 12,717.
Sorry, which one? Oh, yes, that is road salt.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And I think 2 meetings ago or a meeting ago, we had indicated we were going to give $100 to the Chamber of Commerce for the signage, and I don't see it on the thing here.
Next one.
Or for the truck.
Yes, that's a good question.
I think they got missed somehow.
Yeah, no, some of our stuff is delayed upstairs because of the fact that Grow was off sick. So Connie's doing coverage. So some things are delayed, so it will be going out though.
Okay, anyone else?
And the Duke Environmental.
sorry.
That's your mosquito larvae, the spraying.
No, wonder if it's going to work.
Unsure.
The mosquito, yeah. Okay, if that's all, then the CAO report. We did that. All in favor?
Okay. Yes. So as you've seen in the payables, our new plow truck has arrived, which is a real bonus because we really put it to work last time. Between our trucks and trucks from Northern Enviro or Custom Concrete, we hauled for 3 days recovery material for the landfill. So, which was good. We had another company that was contracted to join in as well, but they did not show up. So that was done. Recovery material, we're in a good spot now. Environment was out and did an inspection of the landfill last week and came back with no deficiencies other than the fact that we've got plastic bags everywhere. And yeah, it's just the beast of the day and age with plastic bags. So it'd be nice once Yukon government gets their law in place that bans plastic bags, because it's really heartbreaking to see the landfill. Looks like tumbleweed against the fence out there. It's thick.
Yeah.
So so that's moving ahead. We also did inspections of our full water system. So starting at the long-term storage, lagoons, lift stations, water treatment plant, all that stuff was inspected as well. And I haven't spoken with them since they were done, but they informed me that they would have a report to me right away if there was any deficiencies, and I have not received one, which is a good thing. And Stan was with them full time and there was nothing brought to our attention, so, which is nice. We had some issues at the swimming pool. The water line supplying the swimming pool was frozen. We were able to steam it. But the issue we come across is now the steam line is stuck in the water line. But it's nice because the water line's a 2-inch pipe and the steam line's only a 3/8, so it's not gonna impede us functioning. We still have to dig that line to figure out where the heat trace is not working on it. So, but we're plugging ahead. Environmental health is supposed to be here on I believe the 7th or 8th of June to inspect the pool. So for opening, we're still aiming for June 9th to have the swimming pool open. I don't know if any of you seen, but today we posted the hours for the Northern Lights Center to start, and the official opening is this Friday. We're holding sort of more or less a customer appreciation. So coffee, tea, drop in at the Northern Lights Center, get people coming and going, and we're staffing up from there, but things are delayed because a lot of our students are still in school for another, was it 5 or 10 days? Thomas, usually 2 weeks. So once school's out, then we'll be able to adjust our order hours accordingly. Swimming pool, same thing. We're lucky right now, we have 2 full-time adult lifeguards and 1 part-time adult lifeguard, and then the youth. So the only thing we can't do this year at the swimming pool is swimming lessons, unfortunately, but we could not get anybody into a certification course for the lifeguard or for lessons. The only course that was available we could send somebody to was in Dawson Creek, so it just wasn't financially viable to send somebody to Dawson Creek. So that's moving ahead. Also, I did update council that we had flooding at the ski chalet, groundwater with all the water this year. So flooding, we got the walls all opened up. We're dealing with insurance as we speak on that. The last of the walls were opened up today because we had to wait on the ski club to remove skis, boots, and assorted snowboards and everything out of the rental shop side so we could finish opening the walls in there. We moved the hoe up to dig a drainage ditch to relieve some of the groundwater pressure. And while we were digging, we actually found the weeping tile drain pipe, and it was buried under clay, so it wasn't draining. And it was in the oddest spot in the middle of nowhere. So as soon as the boys found the pipe and hit it, the water opened up and the pressure off the floor dropped, and we were able to stop pumping groundwater inside the building. It just took that pressure off. And then we also, the old wells at the ski chalet there, both had large sums of water within like 2 feet of the top. So if that was where the groundwater level was sitting, it was putting like 6 feet of pressure on the wall, onto the basement, because the water level was about in the pipes, the well pipes was about 6 feet higher than the floor in the chalet. So we spent a few days pumping those out to make sure that they were, taking that issue away. And I was up there yesterday afternoon and checked on everything. It's still draining, but the water amount coming off the mountain has really slowed down. So, but the ground is so saturated that we're gonna have to do some more work once we get the pressure off to make sure there's more weeping tile and drain on when you pull up to the front of the chalet on the left side, which is the north side of the building. So we're gonna do some more work as the summer progresses in there, but right now we've got the pressure off, the walls are open, and we were very lucky that we were able to get Murphy built construction in to actually pull things apart, we were struggling to find somebody to come in to actually open things up. So, so we're dealing with the insurance on that. Insurance agent or appraiser gave me a little hard start because he called me and told me that our deductible was $320,000 was our deductible. And I said, I think you're seriously wrong, because if it's $320,000, we wouldn't have insurance. So needless to say, our deductible is $5,000. So anyways, we're moving ahead on that, and that'll get us there. There's another site meeting on the new municipal services building tomorrow with the consultants and engineers, and progress is really chugging away over there. And ATCO was in to move a power pole at the Northern Light Center, which was right in the path of the new sewer drain coming from the new building. So ATCO did that on the 26th. That was completed. So they're looking at starting the tie-in of the water and the sewer to the new building maybe as early as Thursday this week. So we'll see how that goes. They're pouring the concrete pad for the propane tanks on Saturday. And yeah, so making significant progress. As you can see, they've got most of the little details for the admin building. Siding stuff that was dating their deficiencies, they've got that all looked after now. So the next thing is the landscaping, which council did approve the design for. We've talked about doing it under gas tax. I'm pleased to announce that Yukon government, after doing their final audit on the amount of money that was dedicated in the budget for this building, they figure they have $200,000 to put towards the landscaping, which would cover everything, and we don't have to touch anything under our gas tax.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So that was very good news. I told them they were my new best friends for the day. So yeah, so we're proceeding on that. Here I'm using notes. The other thing we're working towards is the cemetery bylaw. Our consultant is working on draft cemetery bylaw to come to council, and also working on plans to do the public consultation on that part. So that's proceeding as well. It's been, yeah, we've been fairly busy. So there's lots on the go. We've staffed gross or advertised gross position as a term position for 6 months. It closes on the 11th. So if you know of anybody with a financial background that's looking for a term position, please send them that way. The other position that's been advertised is Terry's position. Terry is going to go part-time starting this summer, and plans on retiring in June. So we're looking to staff her position. And then that way the position will have somebody trained up, and I want to lead all of Terry's wealth of knowledge in the last 27 years.
Going really fast.
Exactly. So yeah, kudos to her that she's got a plan, because I tried that once, and look where I'm sitting now. So yeah, so we're working towards trying to get those positions filled and move forward. So I think that's it. Yeah, we've been just spinning our tires going around. So that's it for now, and I'm sure something will come up in your question period later.
Yes, thank you, Cam. Okay, so moving on, number 5, first and second reading of bylaw 2105, being a bylaw to transfer ownership of land. The land in question is 807 Lakeview Avenue, which is the old Lakeview Apartments. At the last meeting, we motioned to proceed with the sale of this property to Yukon Housing for $1 so that they may demolish the current building and redevelop the site to support ongoing housing needs in the community.
I'll make a motion for the first and second reading of bylaw 2105, a bylaw to transfer ownership of land.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Great.
All in favor? Great. Any questions, comments?
No.
Okay.
And your worship, while we're on that topic, I can advise that the RCMP will be in on the week of the 14th, and they're gonna be doing training scenarios in the building.
Cool.
So it's gonna boast their skill set and take advantage of having the building there. So if people here sees ninjas running around and lots of noises going on the week of the 14th, it's gonna be the RCMP. So I'm sure the rumor mill in town will be going hard.
Okay. Sorry.
I guess I can ask that later.
All right, so next, the second reading of bylaw 2104, being a bylaw to consolidate the fees and charges.
Motion to accept the bylaw to consolidate fees and charges bylaw.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you. Any comments,
Yes.
questions?
Yes, I do have a question. I appreciate the clarification on the, in 6A there. I'm just curious then what they are recommending. Do they want to keep it the way that it is? Is it, like, I understand what they're saying, I just don't know what they want.
Okay, yeah, I think there was that was the first part where you're talking about the padded chair rentals, the chair,
Yeah,
plastic tables.
tablecloths,
Yes.
all that.
So we wanted just, that part was added for clarity because that's for external use.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the barbecue rentals, I think, yes. Recommendation from from the feedback from recreation was to keep those things the same.
Okay.
Okay.
So the only thing that I disagree with is the tablecloths.
Yeah.
I understand there needs to be a fee. I totally agree with that. I just think that the individual charging per tablecloth is cost prohibitive. People are just buying plastic tablecloths instead, and I don't really think we want to encourage that either. So in 10s and 20s and 30s, I don't know, they know what's best, but I know that as a renter myself, the individual tablecloths, it's just like, I won't rent them because of it. And they're excellent.
I
Like,
thought we agreed that they'd be part of the hall rental.
is why, that's why I'm asking. I don't know why they're including this tablecloths remark. Like, what is it that they're including it for?
Well, they've included it just to show that there's extra costs
Okay,
above and beyond what, normal, like when we rent dishes, the dishes at the end of the night are done, right?
yeah, totally.
So this, in tables, they put away the tables and the chairs. It's just to show that they're just, so council's aware that there's extra man hours that go into dealing with the tablecloths, and hence the reason that they were originally in
Yeah.
the fees and charges.
No, I totally understand that. It's just yeah.
And that's up to council. If council wants to waive the fee for the tablecloths, that's.
I don't want to waive it. I just do not want to go in and be like, I have to pay
$8.
$8
Yeah.
per tablecloth. Like, that is
Okay, so that's.
way too much.
Yeah,
Because sometimes they're
Yeah.
not as well laundered as
okay.
this would indicate that they are.
Yeah, so your worship, council has the full right in this bylaw. Now's the time to address that. So if council wants to set a fee, if it's, to cover an hour's labor for staff to wash and fold them, you could set a rate of $25 or $30 to deal with unlimited amount of tablecloths.
Yeah.
That's
Let's do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think the most important is just making sure that we know how many tablecloths they took and we got those tablecloths back, and the fee should just be a laundering fee.
Yeah.
I think that that's an excellent idea.
$25, there you go.
So
I
that's,
think that that's something, is that something that they could recommend for the third reading, or
Well,
would
that's
you like
something
that
you guys-
number now?
you guys can recommend an amount, and we can put it in now. And when it comes back for third reading, when we'll present it, any of the changes will be complete and presented in third reading to you guys. So if you guys are comfortable with, covering our staff's wages for an hour, whatever dollar amount you want.
Yeah.
That is fine. So that's the recommendation you guys can make.
So, okay, then I would like to make a motion to amend the second reading of the fees and charges to include a laundering fee for the tablecloths.
In the amount of,
In the amount of I just,
$25.
do you? Okay,
You can put whatever.
Somebody's,
Yep.
is that what you're saying? Like somebody's
Well, if
wage
you cover,
approximately for an hour?
if you cover an hour's wage, that is fine.
see, I would put in that it would be, yeah, an hour's wage. I just don't know what an hour's
Oh,
wage
that's
is.
fine. You can, I think I'm comfortable.
And I think it honestly takes an hour and a half, if I'm perfectly honest. That's why I'm saying, like, I think the rec center knows how long and how much the wage is, but I do think it should be a laundering.
I personally, it comes down to a point where you draw the line on where people will pay the hour or an hour and a half's wage, where's that tipping point, right?
Mhm.
So, personally, I think from administration, I'm okay with a $30 charge.
Okay,
Okay,
And if it's more or less, because our staff, when stuff's in the washer, can be doing other stuff.
Yeah.
Right, or will be doing other stuff. So, and we're not gonna, if it takes an hour and a half, we're not out huge, right?
okay.
But it's just something, and I guess then it's to go with your motion, we would be looking to remove that fee, the tablecloth fee from the existing bylaw, right?
So the washed and unwashed or whatever.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Because it's currently in that,
So that's two motions.
yeah, it is one.
Can I? Okay, well, you're putting a lot of faith in my skills in motion making.
Okay, well, then you can do whatever works
Okay.
for you.
I would like to make a motion to amend bylaw 2104 to remove the tablecloth fee. And I would like to make another amendment to add a laundering fee for tablecloths in the amount of $30.
all right. Motion's out.
No,
I second
Any
it.
seconder?
John will.
John will second. All in favor? Great.
Was there, your worship, was there any other comments about?
Are there any other comments? About the fees and charges? No? Okay. Thank you.
So many.
Okay. All right, so the next up, number 7, is review of bylaw 0908, which is the council indemnities bylaw. We discussed at a previous meeting, I believe it was March 2nd, that this was a bylaw that we felt needed to be reviewed. This bylaw sets the types, rates, and conditions of compensation to mayor and council for attending meetings, committees, and other municipal duties. The bylaw has also not been reviewed in 12 years.
So that's just a
So
discussion.
this, what we're looking for, we can have a discussion, looking for a motion to direct administration to proceed with presenting options to council
Okay,
right now. And then,
And administration would like to get feedback from.
yes,
From.
from the options.
okay, so I will make,
Or prior to.
Oh, okay.
okay, so do we want to discuss first or make a motion and discuss?
You can,
Do you have-
it's for new and unused, or new and unused. New and unfinished. My apologies, it's been a long day. You can discuss it now if you want, yes, and then make a motion.
Do you have comments you want to make now, or would you like to make them after we?
We can, let's make them now, and then we can make a motion. Or what?
Yeah,
Sure, I just don't have those, the things from the other municipalities that you presented us last time. I don't have those
Yeah,
on hand.
Oh, dang, and I had them looked up even. Okay, well, basically, there was a difference, like 2 really big differences, I think, between some of them. Some of them were really itemized, where there was a base rate and then like for every meeting, right? And then the other was kind of a more like a lump sum, and then with per diems. So to me, it seemed like there was kind of like a discussion to be had about those two, the differences between those two. And I think for the lump sum, it's obviously a lot easier for administration, accounting, and all that. It's a lot, I think it seems like it's less work. Obviously, Terry and Cam would know better. But also, I think that there's less accountability, and I think that there is less, I want to say reward, but it's not reward, it's pay for the hours that you're doing, which sometimes is a lot, depending on, how much time you put in. So, and the itemized obviously is more accountability. It seems more desirable, especially if you are actually doing this as a part-time job. And I think because of that, it could attract a more diverse crowd, like people that actually can't afford to donate their time would be able to then run for council and get paid accordingly. But again, more administration work, and it seems a little bit finicky. So in my opinion, a nice balance between that. I really liked the Village of Teslin and Dawson's. I thought they both had a good balance. However, I don't think that either one of them had it perfectly right, but those were the top two in my opinion.
Yes, so your worship, if council wants to look at those again, they're still in the council meeting minutes or the folder, your folder from March 2nd meeting, so you can review them again and then email me your feedback so we can bring stuff forward if that works.
Okay.
Yeah, if I may, well, to reading that, then 1/3 of the indemnity would be non-taxable
Yes,
because it's an expense, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And I guess the other key thing is that you're not setting this for yourselves. This
Yeah.
would be implemented.
For the
as
next
the new
term.
Next council comes. in.
Okay. Any comments right now, Thomas?
I don't know, I kind of like the hybrid model, and I kind of like just the lump sum thing too, because, it depends. I've seen, like, personally, I know the first time I was on council, I was like, wanted to be on every single committee and this and that. And sadly, it seemed like no matter what committee I went on, or what we talked about, or this, that, like, as far as an action thing that happened afterwards, I feel like not a lot happened. And I look at the other committees that we as a council have struck, and I feel that, like, we've got the idea to get a bunch of signs from a rec committee thing, and like, we can blame COVID, we can talk about, I don't know. We've had so many committees about the same thing, and the information is like available that, I don't know, I just think that, like, getting paid per meeting, and then you get people that are like meeting warriors and like are really gung ho to have as many meetings as they possibly can to bump up their paycheck, right?
Right.
So
I think
there's a balance to be struck.
yeah, I agree. But I do think that there's a lot more than just committees that we're creating within council. I have been on AYC since Cheryl has left, and I have found it to be one of the most rewarding parts of being on council. Like, if I could stay on that committee after I wasn't a councillor, I would. I think that, like, those things are so rewarding, and I've learned so much, and it's such a big part of, I think, like, governing communities. And to find out that literally nobody from our council attended those meetings for like years is pretty disappointing. So if somebody could get paid to go to them because they literally cannot afford to go to free meetings. I've done over 20 hours this year for AYC alone, and not everybody can afford to do that for free. So I think that balance needs to be kept in mind too. Is that, like, you know, people want to do this, but people might not be able to afford to do it for $600 a month and put in however many hours it is.
Yeah, understood. Like I said, there's a balance to be struck.
Totally.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, I'll just give my little opinion really quickly. I obviously, like you said, the flat rate is going to be the easiest thing for administration to kind of, you know, deal with. I personally kind of like, you know, there being the rate that you get paid for, like the regular meetings, you know, whether that's twice a month or whatever it ends up being, but also that people maybe get compensated depending on the committees and that they're on or meetings that they go to, just because I feel like if it's the same for everyone, there's nothing to stop certain people from not doing their share of those things. So you have 1, 2, or 3 people or whatever it is that are doing the bulk of those jobs, and everybody is receiving the same compensation, and it's just, you know, I think it would give incentive to spread the workload around.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on that. So, were you gonna make that motion then?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to direct administration to research a few different options and please put forward a recommendation to council.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll say that.
Okay, all in favor? Great. Okay, number 8 says Francis Avenue lot extension. So we have been seeking support and feedback from LFN on a large lot development package consisting of many sites and types of lots. So far, we have had very low feedback on that. So we are going to break it down and see if we can get some support on this one piece of the package. This is a letter from Mayor Urban to Chief Charlie requesting support for the Francis extension exclusively. As we're told, the detailed design for Francis is 95% complete, and YG would be willing to start development of the extension in 2021 if we can secure the support from LFN for the project. I will not be reading the letter aloud this time because it is still a draft. That being said, does council have any feedback or input on the letter?
Other than starting sentences with conjunctions?
Yes, other than, yes, I also have a couple of grammar and spelling suggestions, but other than that, okay with the content.
I'm okay with content.
It looks great.
Okay, so can we get a motion to accept the draft and deliver the letter?
I'll make a motion to accept the draft of and deliver the letter to LFN.
Thank you, Aaron. Second? Thomas?
Yeah, I just find it sad that when we did the LFN town agreement, that timelines weren't put in there of some type.
Which, sorry?
The agreement that we came up with LFN and the town. There were no timelines put in there, and I think that's, at some point you have to put timelines in things or they never get accomplished.
And are you referring to the accord?
Yeah.
We still haven't had that finalized yet.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but
So,
Yeah,
we might want to change that and get some timelines in there.
Okay.
did we get a second?
Yeah, Thomas, sorry, Councillor Slager. A second.
and we need an all in favor, I think.
All right, so number 9. Yukon Energy Branch. Regarding the electric vehicle charging location. We received a letter from YG Energy Branch. Basically, should I read it or do
I can fill you in on the details.
you want to give us a
Sure.
synopsis?
Yeah, so Yukon government, through their energy branch is trying to put electric vehicle charging stations in all Yukon communities. It's an initiative, they've got funding, I believe, through Ottawa to do it. They like to put them at government offices, but or government buildings, but the way Watson Lake is laid out, there's no government building in downtown core. So they've asked if they could put it here at the town office. None of the expenses for any of it, even to power it after it's all said and done, will be borne on the municipality. All we're doing is giving them a piece of the a parking stall where they can put their infrastructure into. I've met with them and said to them, the running joke about charging electric cars in a diesel community.
Mhm.
They came back with a bunch of stats that showed that it is actually still cost efficient because the diesel generators are still running, producing power anyway. So it's not putting an extra burden on. It'd be different if it was a one-off where you had to run a generator to run the charging station, but ATCO is still spinning the generators and making power. So the cost to the municipality is us giving up a little corner right here by the garbage can for them to put their charging infrastructure, and they are responsible for all costs, liabilities, the whole 9 yards for it. And their plan is that if the new visitor information center is ever built, they would probably move their infrastructure there. But right now, it's where we're at, and personally, it's not gonna impact us at the municipal office by having it here.
I just have a question or a concern about that. I am just wondering what that will look like amongst our brand new landscaping out front.
Oh,
And we're supposed to be having this entry to Y Lake Park. You know, we have this beautiful concept that we've been presented that we've kind of approved. What this car charging thing is going to look like amongst that, where that's going to go. And then I guess alternately, is that not something, I know you said that they like to have it at a government building, but is there not somebody perhaps in the private sector who would maybe be willing to take that on?
Yes, so all that's gonna change for us is there's gonna be a white pedestal. I wish I had a picture of it here to show you, but it's just a white pedestal with their charging cord that hangs on it. So it's not gonna be an eyesore for
Okay.
any of our stuff. And we were looking at, it won't affect the landscaping or the entrance to White Lake Park. Because the area that's proposed is on this side where we actually have our garbage cans sitting currently.
Okay.
So we're gonna move our garbage can to a better location, and that would free up that corner there, so their pedestal could go right there, close to where the fire hydrant is.
And are we talking just one stall or
And it won't-
multiple?
Yeah, it's only one stall, and it's not gonna take up any of our other stalls along the front. We are actually looking at putting it on the side entrance, on the side. So right where the garbage can is sitting now, so it's not taking up a parking stall.
Okay. Anyone else comments?
No, I'm
Sorry.
in favor of it.
Okay.
I think it's a dumb idea, but that's progress.
I don't think it's progress. I think it's a dumb idea. I do not agree. I don't think that we should do it. I don't really care what ATCO Electric says about it's not going to increase their power load. They are literally a company. Like, I think that putting government dollars into investing into fossil fuels is dumb. So I also think that we don't have room in front of our building already. And if we have an extra parking spot, we could use it for parking. I would much rather, if they want to do something like that, do it at their own building, as far as I'm concerned. And also Andy Shannon is putting in an electric vehicle plug-in at his personal, or at his business this summer supposedly, so maybe they could talk to him about that.
Well, I know
To be
Archie's
frank.
been charging.
Okay.
Archie has been charging a few vehicles at the RV park there, and he runs a cord from his dryers or something over to the vehicle to charge them up. That's for somebody that's desperate. You know, I told them they should buy generators.
Okay, so
They were
we
running.
vote on it?
Can I just make one more comment? ATCO Electric is actively telling people in our community that we are not allowed to have electric heat because we run on a diesel generator. They are actively telling customers that. So how can they also be actively telling YTG that we can have electric plugins, but we can't have electric heat in our houses? So I just wanted to also put that out there, but anyways,
Thank you.
that's it.
No, that's a good point.
I guess it comes down, your worship, it comes down to the technology too, right? So I'm not sure how the transformer works, if it takes a large amount of electricity to run it, because you can charge electric cars off of now your home 110 plug-in. So I think the technology's there that it's not consuming a lot of power to make power. You know what I'm getting at?
I do. It's just like fundamentally, I can't get on board with it.
Most of them need 30 amps. And then some, 30 to 50 amps.
Okay,
So
So-
can we think about this?
can we request some more information?
Yeah,
You can table it and present questions you would like to ask.
Sure,
great. I'd like to make a motion to table this topic till the next meeting.
which will be July 20th.
Yes.
Can I have a second?
I was just noticing the comment, if it's at the rec center, the town office, doesn't matter, it's still the same concept. And I need some more information on this, I need some background checking before I can
So can we get
mind.
a second on that?
Check it, right.
Okay, all in favor, just table to July 20th. All in favor? Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, so number 10, community service grants for nonprofits. So basically, we're looking for,
I can fill it in if you.
thank you.
So, yes, so the community service grant policy, as council remembers, they adopted. You adopted a new policy for nonprofits for different tiers for recouping or forgiveness of their property taxes, and that was based on the values of their assets and revenues. So there's 3 tiers. Tier 1 goes to 250,000. Tier 2 goes from 250 to 500, and tier 3 is over 500,000. So it currently, of the 5 applications, 3 of them fall into tier 1. 1 falls into tier 2, and 1 falls into tier 3. So it would be, the grants in lieu would be 100% for the Outdoor Rec Association, which would be in the amount of $992.02. The Signpost Seniors and the Watson Lake Riding Association, the Watson Lake Riding Association would be for $3,682.50. Signpost Seniors would be in the amount of $10,099.48. And then at tier 2 would be the Watson Lake Ski Club, and for the amount of $940.62. And then falling into the phase 3, which is the Help and Hope for Families, and it would be for $8,108.32. There is a caveat on that. The Watson Lake Riding Association, the Signpost Seniors, currently are not in good standings with the societies due to the fact that their treasurer left them hanging with their books not done. So they have got them done, but they haven't got the check mark from societies yet, which they figure they'll have within the next 10 days. And from administration's side, I think it would be unfair for the municipality to punish them because they were involved with unfair bookkeeping practices, not by their own means. So I would recommend that council would approve those 2, even though they're technically don't meet the policy at the moment.
So we're looking for a motion
I'll make
to,
that motion to accept the grants as presented, proposed.
Yeah, there's also some confusion because my wife's with the seniors and the daycare. And that's been going back and forth, and whether the daycare is separate or whether the seniors have to pay it. There's some confusion there. That's got to be straightened out.
Yes, and also in the note that was put forward is that we've, as a municipality, we don't actually have a copy of the title to see who actually owns that. So we, Shannon has requested a copy of the title so we can clarify for the Signpost Seniors or the daycare who actually is the owner and who is responsible. So, but we'll clear up that next year. We've come a long ways with the new policy, and we found a couple wording things that are going to bring the policy back to council at one of the next meetings to clarify. Because the way it works out, it should be 100% forgiven, 75% forgiven, 50%. But the way the level 2 is worded, it's confusing. So we're going to clear up that ambiguity for housekeeping's sake and bring it back to council to get that cleared up. So, but council or administration does recommend the approval of all of them.
As presented, I make a motion to approve them as presented. So.
okay. And all in favor? Thank you. Right, Councillor Open Forum.
I made a mistake, sorry, didn't mean to jump the gun.
Nope, go right
Go
ahead.
ahead.
In my mind, it was 912, but Cindy Porter's house is 911 Ravenhill, so it would be either 909 or 907. One of those two.
John?
Yeah, that response that Patty got from the minister regarding the Francis Avenue lots really sucked. And then we had indicated number 2 would be look at some lots on the ski hill. But they seem to jump onto Thompson without including that. Now, I understand some of it maybe because that one guy is no longer there. And possibly the minister hasn't been properly briefed by the department or the new guy. But it would be nice if our MLA could get some clarification on what the heck they're up to.
Speak to that, your worship, to some extent, if you'd like.
Thank you. Please do.
Yeah, so we have a new minister, Minister Mostyn, and he is just coming into the portfolio, I think, a few weeks, and he is getting familiar with the different files. So I think in total, we're pursuing, correct me if I'm wrong, Cam, like 6 or 7 land development initiatives, in Watson Lake. And I think Francis and Thompson, certainly in the discussions that I've been a part of, have kind of come through as lower hanging fruit, if you will, or more feasible for development kind of sooner. And so I think those have been discussed more. There's been more focus on that. However, I could tell you at the operational level, at the administrative level, that we're certainly working towards Francis in 2021. That is the goal right now. That letter that Cam had presented earlier was part of that effort. So I think things are aligning, and there will be community tours coming up in the next, could be very soon, but certainly this summer sometime, where you can raise that with the minister. But I believe you guys will get a satisfactory answer when you get to have a face-to-face with the minister, if you catch my drift. Thank you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yes, so your worship, I can also comment. Yeah, there's definitely miscommunication in between the minister coming online and what's actually going on in the background. I can confirm that Lands Branch is fully prepared to issue tenders for work on Francis Avenue as we speak. So they are working towards getting that done. And that's the briefing note that is going forward, and they're going forward for funding approval based on that. So like I said, I think just that new stage, that communication, the briefing wasn't proper or wasn't interpreted properly going forward, because there's no way possible to do just 10 lots on Francis Avenue, because the sewer on Francis Avenue all runs back to the east. So it's impossible to put even one lot on Francis Avenue extension without running the sewer all the way down and building the lift station. So it's all or none. So going forward, so that's where they're at on that one.
So are they even looking at the possibility of some lots on the ski hill, or is that all premature?
It's one of the ones in the package, but for way they worded it, the low hanging fruit was Francis Avenue first, Thompson Drive second, and then also the industrial lots of the old Rudy's on the Garden Creek Road were the ones, because they're already OCP compliant and zoning compliant for Francis and the Garden Creek. The other one, Thompson, is still sitting there because as you know, it would never finish the OCP amendment and the zoning. That was all put on hold, and the communication has been back and forth with LFN and YG. So hopefully this will be just trying to get it so we can get one confirmed and win, and then move forward and bring another one forward as soon as one's approved.
Anything else, John?
Yeah, just a minor item. I go for a hike past White Lake Manor. There's a fire hydrant there that just looks terrible, desperate need of paint. It does not have the 4 pillars beside it, and it's a real high fire hydrant. If somebody ever hit that sucker, it's gonna be a big problem. So it's something that the town should look into. I'm not particularly happy with the rainbow flags where they are, but I have a real problem with the Yukon being called what those flags signify. A queer Yukon, it doesn't sound right to me. People driving into the Yukon,
Will
they
we,
think of the mountains, the lakes and everything else, and then somebody calls it queer Yukon.
will we,
I think it's unfortunate that the people that developed that organization stuck queer in there.
That is what they are. They're queer people. That's
No,
why,
they're
it's-
not.
yes, they are. That's what they're called.
They may be gay. They hate to be, I know people that are,
We aren't gonna argue,
Homosexuals.
we are not gonna
Okay.
argue this
They
in this,
like
we're not
to
gonna
be
argue this
queer.
in this meeting,
That's fine.
John. We're absolutely
the
not.
point is, we made a motion to hang those flags, and it was
yeah, no, I.
voted in
realize.
favor of, and that's just the end of
And,
it. Okay,
and I regret that I didn't bring it up then.
thanks.
I'm not happy with it, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yes.
Ace Asphalt, we
Okay,
had agreed to send a letter to Ace Asphalt several months ago, and then the election was called. So we held off, and I really think that with the minister now in place, we could send a letter to the Minister of the Environment, ask them to do an environmental review of the site or environmental assessment of the site and see what they have to say. When I look back at the history of that place, I still question on whether, because it was built to accommodate a government contract, I don't know if there's any legal ways we could go back to YTG and ask them to clean up that site. We'd have to get a lawyer to look at it and stuff like that before we end up having to spend money on it or sell it for $1 and have somebody clean it up or whatever.
Yeah, your worship, I can comment that environment, when they were in town last week, we met and discussed Ace Asphalt, and they were going back to their superiors to see what the point of view was on what can be done. So I'm waiting for that response right now.
thank you.
That's
Okay.
good. It's nice to see something happening there.
Okay, thanks, Cam. Sorry, Erin.
I, first of all, just want to commend the rec staff on getting those flags ordered and up so quickly is very commendable, and dealing with Alyssa on the subject was a pleasure. Also, I just wanted to bring up the email that we received from Carly Gillis. I think she had a few fair points in there. I know I know that there was extenuating circumstances about the beach this year with the fire.
I'm sorry, I'm
Oh.
I'm at a loss. I don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that this went to everybody. My apologies. I'm gonna forward it to you and perhaps we can talk about it. But anyways, basically, she's just concerned about the garbage at Y Lake on the beach, which I know
Fireworks.
the fireworks, which we addressed at the last meeting, but I do want to reiterate how important it is. I think we clean that up every single year. You know, I know this past year was extenuating circumstances, like I said, but it has been a mess previous years. And she talked about that at length, but also she's really concerned about the ATVs on the Y Lake Trail. And I know that that is really difficult to police, almost impossible, I'm sure, but she also had some suggestions in there as to how to at least deter them. I don't know how feasible any of them are, but seeing that she lives literally right at the end of that trail, she probably has a pretty good idea of what the issues are. So I just wanted that to be brought to our attention. And if you haven't read it, that's absolutely fine. We can maybe talk about it at another time, but she just brought up a lot of points that I think hold merit.
Yeah.
And a lot of the issues, I think we can look at getting some of that funding through gas tax to fix that. And some of the recommendations even from the tourism report, I think, fall into this. So.
Thank you.
But there is that ongoing issue of the quads going
Yeah,
on.
absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, it's really hard because they'll just find a way to get around it, you know?
Yeah.
At your place now, they go through Lorena and Demon's Yard.
Oh, and they go through there 90 miles an hour.
Well, for sure. And I
No
don't,
helmets, nothing.
yeah, I don't know what the solution is. I don't know if, you know, they used to have the speed bumps that we dug in with the grader. I know that there's issues with that, but it seems like we need a creative solution.
That's really just a couple of kids. I mean, I think it's a matter of the cops or the bylaw officer monitoring that and nailing.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't have a bylaw officer right now, right?
All right. So if that's all,
For me anyways.
I do not have anything this time.
I'm done.
Cam, anything?
No.
All right. So looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Oh, sorry. Thanks, Thomas. All in favor? Thank you. And thank you everyone in the gallery for attending today.
Oh, can you tell us what's in the chat?
Yep. So Colleen Craft, thanks. Here we go. If none of the development is approved by LFN, will the town move forward with Francis Avenue or Thompson?
No.
That's,
No, we can't.
those are, we're tied up at the government level right now on that. And then she thanked John for bringing the items up regarding like East Asphalt. And then thank you for the safety as a priority.
Awesome. Thanks, Colleen.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Jordan.